we're going to be inviting Lukas from Safe to talk about what they've been up to and all the exciting product announcements that they're going to talk about today. So for the next 10 minutes, please give Lukas a big round of applause.
All right. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah? All right. Yeah, super glad to be part of the very first iteration of ETHGlobal Pragma and to share a little bit what we're up to at Safe, what's coming. Yeah, maybe I'm going to reference a lot account abstraction in the next 10 minutes. So just in case you haven't been on Twitter for the last 6 months, super short TLDR. On Ethereum, there's basically two types of user accounts. One is an externally owned account. It's controlled by a private key. And essentially, it's the account that you get when you use MetaMask, for example, and you write down your seed phrase, and that's kind of how you control your account. And another type of user account is smart accounts. They're controlled through smart contract code, and that makes them programmable and allows to add additional smart features to it, like recovery, batch transactions, Gasless experiences, and much more. And like smart accounts is nothing new. They've been around since the inception of Ethereum. But what is new is that we now have a standard, ERC 4337, which is specifying some aspects of these smart contract accounts, which allows to have better composability in the ecosystem, better tooling, because it can make certain assumptions based on this standard. And we at Safe have been using and building smart accounts for 5 years now, primarily for our Safe Wallet product, which allows to, via smart accounts, have multi-signature functionality. So that's useful for teams that coordinate around assets together, because you can have multiple private keys that control a single account. And yeah, but it's also quite handy for individuals that want to have extra security through multi-factor authentication. Yeah, but interesting enough, the Safe protocol, so the underlying smart account, it's not limited to multi-sig. Like this is one feature, but from the inception of Safe, it is meant to be like a fully programmable account, which via modules can be extended with additional functionality, such as permissions, roles, automations, and such. And yeah, I mean, there's consensus in the ecosystem now that we're moving towards smart accounts, but I would actually say we're already there because Safe has been deploying, or there are already more than 2 million Safe smart accounts deployed, making more than 9 million transactions, securing more than $70 billion worth of assets. So interestingly enough, Safe is probably the smart contract that is controlling the most or securing the most assets, even before the like ETH Beacon chain deposit contract. So I would say smart accounts are already here. And this traction actually is not coming from the Safe Wallet product itself or only. It's coming from an entire ecosystem that has been built around the Safe Smart account and is leveraging that the programmability of it, is building wallet tooling, applications, and yeah, using the Safe Smart account under the hood. And what we're doing now is we're announcing a new product line that is specifically targeting developers that want to use the Safe Smart account. We're calling it Safe Core, and it makes it just easier for developers, even though they've been already doing it, but like to take advantage of the Safe protocol. And it adds some additional features through kits that really just solve certain challenges that every developer building on an account abstraction is facing, and just makes this easier to build account abstraction wallets, to build tooling, etc. on Safe Smart accounts. So we have an off kit in there, an on-ramp kit, a relay kit, and maybe just as a showcase what this enables. One thing it can, like the Safe Core SDK enables, is Web2-like experiences, but running on Web3 rails. So you probably all know that like onboarding to crypto is still quite challenging. First off, you start downloading MetaMask, then you have to learn about key management, you have to write down your seed phrase, you're going to go to an exchange, you will buy some crypto there, you send it to your wallet, And then the challenges only start, because then you have to learn about gas and like what it means to speed up transactions and all of that. And with Safe Core, you can pretty much abstract that all away from the user, because with the auth kit, which is integrating with Web3 auth, you can give the user an MPC wallet, which is controlling a Safe Smart account under the hood. The user just logs in with an email address. They get like a magic link. They log in with social login, and they don't even know that they have a wallet at this point, but under the hood they have. Once the user then does a transaction on chain with the wallet, they don't need to learn about gas. The dApp can just sponsor the transaction for the user, and the user doesn't have to face that challenge. And once the user wants to pay for something significant in the dApp or maybe in the game, they can directly on-ramp via credit card using the Stripe integration of the on-ramp kit. So no need to go via an exchange to on-ramp funds to the account. But that's just a few things that are enabled through Safe Core. We also provide like a public API as like an indexing service to get some data around Safe Smart accounts. It allows for transaction batching and much more. And importantly, this is only the start for Safe Core. We're like expanding this over the next months with additional kits that solve for other challenges like recovery, multi-chain, and so on. And we're very open to talk to anyone in the ecosystem that has ideas how to expand Safe Core, other kits that we could provide, and collaborate with you. So that was Safe Core, and now I have some more announcements to make. The first one is we want to challenge a little bit the current paradigm of users paying for the transaction fees themselves, because especially on layer 2s and cheaper layer 1s, like the additional friction for the user, usually dApps or other parties are quite happy to take that off the shoulders of users by just sponsoring the transactions, because they don't cost that much. But the value for the dApp or someone else might be much bigger to get the usage. So we partnered up with Gnosis Chain, and Gnosis Chain sponsors all safe-based transactions for the next month, and we're going to check how this works, and most likely it will be expanded beyond that, and we will probably work with other networks that are willing to participate in that program, or dApps that want to sponsor transactions for the user. So yeah, all transactions on Gnosis Chain from today will be free for a month, including deployments of safes as well. Another cool thing we're working on is a collaboration with Monerium, where we want to get to a point where you can programmatically link a Fiat bank account number to your Safe Smart account. So that means that you have sort of like a digital twin of your Fiat bank account that is a Safe Smart account, and where you can then like receive Fiat, and it immediately gets like added to your converted into on-chain assets, and you can trigger transactions from your wallet, and it immediately triggers like an instant Fiat transactions off-chain. So there's going to be quite some interesting things that can be built around this. Initially, it's going to be launched in Europe only, because Monerium has like a license in Europe to do that, but we will try to expand that beyond that as well. And then finally, the third announcement for today is that we just finished the audit and the deployments of the next version of the Safe protocol. So version 1.4 is now deployed, and it includes full ERC-4337 support. So what I mentioned before, this new standard that is specifying some things around smart accounts, now with 1.4, there's like full support in Safe Smart accounts as well. Before there were some challenges with the modular system that we had, so this is now resolved as well. So yeah, not sure with the time. Yeah, so I would like to also showcase some things that are currently already built on Safe Core. One thing is Nest Wallet, which is a browser extension that is like the first multi-sig focused browser extension, and it's really cool UX, and it's yeah, definitely check it out, because they have like email notifications included, and you can have like transactions, like add memos to the transaction, so your co-signers know what the transaction is about, and they really are a very product-focused project, and I'm a strong believer in Nest Wallet. Another one is AI Artists. What they've done with SafeCore is they've built like an Instagram-like application for AI-generated art, where the user actually owns the NFT versions of the AI art that they generate. But they use SafeCore in a way that it feels really like a Web2-like application. So like easy onboarding, gasless experiences, and probably hard to even tell that there's like Web3 under the hood. Only when the user actually wants to have these NFTs and maybe use them somewhere else or start selling them, then they figure out the value of actually owning these digital assets. Another interesting project is Compass Safe. What they do is they take a safe, but they add a permissions protocol around it, so you can define for certain actions who can conduct these transactions. So you could have like a treasury, and you could then have like a treasury manager that's allowed to use the funds in a treasury, but only interacting with certain smart contracts, with certain assets, and maybe during certain periods. So that's quite an interesting project to check out as well. And then finally, a project called Signless used SafeCore and expanded the Safe Smart account with session keys. So you might have like a quite secure setup in your Safe Smart account, which involves collecting multiple signatures from different keys. But when you use a Web3 game where you do multiple transactions in a short time, it's really annoying to always go through that flow every time. So the Signless allows to define a session key, which is an ephemeral key having permissions to your account, which lives locally in your application, and you just authorize it once, and then you can use that key to sign transactions on your account. Yeah, many more projects that are currently being built, and reach out if you're interested in SafeCore. We are on a mission to unlock digital ownership, and yeah, if you're curious about the account abstraction, about SafeCore, hit me up after the talk. Thank you.